Hi folks, today we have a washing machine that is out of balance during the spin cycle. You can see how far it's separated from the dryer there. We're going to replace these damper pads right here that go into the bottom of the washer. They are located right down here underneath this cone here. So what I've done is pulled the front of the washing machine off, disconnected all the hoses in the back and the electrical, and what we're going to do is remove the springs. There's 3 of them on this particular model, one back here, one here, and one back there. We're going to remove those springs. We're going to tip the washing machine back so that we can get underneath it, and underneath it there'll be a pulley system. We need to remove that so that we can take this entire unit here and lift it up and possibly out so that we can clean off whatever's underneath there and then reinstall the new pads. I've removed the belt, and on our main drive unit here there's a little pin that we're after. We're going to undo this screw here. It's a Phillips head screwdriver. I've already unscrewed that so that see if we can get the light to be a little better. There you go. We unscrew this little Phillips screwdriver, and it has a washer, and that comes off. And then there's a little keying nut there that goes over the threads there, and that holds it to keep this thing from unwinding. And this comes off pretty easy. As you can see here, all you have to do is unwind it and it'll come right off the grooves, and then that removes there. Now this here is your brake, and unless you have a big tool you can't remove that. So what I've done the top 2 bolts up here in this corner and this corner, so the lid of my washer will lift up. That's going to allow this tub to lift up out of the way as well, and to inspect these pads underneath here that I think need to be replaced. So what I'm going to do is just put a block of wood underneath here like this, and then that way as I set it down it's going to lift up on the tub assembly, and it's going to lift it up just enough that I can see that cone. So as I set that down, you can see that lifts up that cone, and now I can see the pads underneath there and inspect them, and they look pretty good. Alright, if you look right here, these are the pads that I thought I was going to replace, and they are actually in pretty good shape. Doesn't look like they have too much wear and tear on them, as you can see. Get the light off, there you go. They're actually really in pretty good shape. I do not think that that's the cause of my out of balance issue. Maybe due to faulty springs, or maybe due to the fact that I was just plain out of balance. The whole washer unit itself was out of balance on the ground. So anyway, now that we've inspected the pads, I can see the pads are good and they're clean. Then they aren't ripped, torn, and they do look like they have plenty of life left on them. Normally at this point, if you see a bunch of shredded material, fibrous stuff where these pads are completely gone, then what you're going to want to do is clean all this surface off, and then you would re-glue the new pads back on, and then put some silicone lube on them and put them back together. And usually those pads are what goes bad if it goes out of balance, or just plain out of balance as far as the foot pegs go. So we'll check those. Okay, here's my washing machine in spin cycle, telling you not to believe everything that you read on the internet, although you're now listening to this and believing this. So first I was told to change my pads, change the springs, because my washing machine was so far out of balance. And it turns out after checking all of that stuff that all it was at a level. So all I did was take that level, put it up on the wash machine, and then I moved it to there, and then leveled it this direction, and then leveled the back, and then leveled the side and leveled front, make sure it was level all the way around. And all you have to do is come down here, and on your feet you'll have a tiny little adjustment that you can reach in with a screwdriver, or I mean with the wrench, and you're just going to turn that and raise it and lower your pads on all corners. And here it is in full spin cycle, and it's not even moving. Again, it does have clothes in it, in case you're wondering if it's empty or not, but it is going to town. But I didn't have to replace the pads, as you saw in the other video, and I didn't replace the springs either, both of which I were told to replace when I was looking for information online. So check the level of your wash machine. It might be the cheapest, quickest, and easiest way to fix it. And always remember, you can do it.